I want to react to a Fox piece called "The Five React to the Homeless Crisis Getting Worse."
Liberal cities spending millions to fight the homeless crisis, but the
Liberal cities, like, why do they have to start like that? It's cities. What about conservative cities? Is there even such a thing?
problem, it just keeps getting worse. There's
That's true.
heartbreaking images of those living in deplorable conditions on the streets becoming all too common. As Democrat leaders get accused of dumping billions of taxpayer dollars into failed programs that do little to solve the issue, we ran through the numbers and the amounts.
I'd like to know what's going on with the guy. So, we got a broom and we got a guy attacking another guy with a broom. There's something going on there, but these guys, I mean, it's nothing against Fox. CNN does it too. It's all propaganda and lies because they don't tell the whole story. They're just trying to get you to be outraged. I guess the idea is conservatives hate homeless people and they're just giving you things to hate.
San Francisco spends an astonishing
This is crazy.
$100,000 per homeless person.
That's
New York
a lot.
Sells out $58,000 per year per homeless person, but it hasn't helped. A recent report says homelessness in the Big Apple has reached the highest level.
The numbers
since
just
the
keep
Great
getting worse.
And Chicago spends about $9,000 per homeless person. The unmanageable homelessness problem in the Windy City putting McDonald's CEO in a
Again, it's Hunter Biden and Chicago with these people all the time. It's so boring. It's why one of the reasons I don't go. I just, all this corporate media is such crap.
tough spot. They've been trying to entice employees back to headquarters in Chicago.
Try and entice employees to any kind of job.
Problems that have arisen since the pandemic.
Everywhere I go, I'm confronted by the same question these days.
Yeah, that's because you watch too much Fox News.
What's going on in Chicago?
What's going on in Chicago and Hunter Biden?
That our city is in crisis.
He only cares about two things, Chicago and Hunter Biden.
It's more difficult today for me to convince a promising McDonald's executive to relocate to Chicago from one of our other offices than it was just a few years.
Maybe it's because people think McDonald's sucks and they don't want to work for your weird, conservative, freaky white ass.
Years ago.
Judge, we could talk about any American city, but you know Chicago very well. And what he's saying, you think that's happening for other businesses as well?
Absolutely. And
Sure.
I give him credit. I absolutely
Why would you give him credit?
CEO of McDonald's credit for
Why?
actually making an issue of this. Look,
I will say that is good. We do need to make an issue of that. It is, everybody should be talking about homelessness. And liberals are not talking about homelessness. They're like, housing first, move on.
Are in crisis, but not just the cities and the people who live there, but businesses are now recognizing the impact that crime has on their bottom line.
Crime and homelessness are not the same thing.
If you don't have law and order, then what you have is anarchy, and then you have businesses that
okay, that person right there is asleep on the street. They are not doing any crime unless you consider sleeping on a street a crime. In the case it is then a crime, but they're mixing these two ideas together when they're actually two separate ideas.
Be able to survive this homelessness, in addition to the look that's unsavory. I mean, I know people that we send to jail for less than $100.
So it's an unsavory look and it's too expensive. Those are the big issues for this woman, I guess.
$6,000, which is what they pay in San Francisco. So,
well, what does it cost to go to jail in San Francisco? San Francisco is a very expensive city. I mean, it is ridiculous amount, though. I will give her that.
I mean, the issue is, what are we going to do with these people? Some of them are criminals. There's no question about it.
Yes.
Who have mental.
Some are criminals. Most are not violent criminals. Most have warrants. They have warrants because they can't. They don't have a phone. They don't have transportation to their court trials, so they just get warrants written up for them.
Health illness at the genesis of whatever crime they're involved in.
The genesis, I like her big words. Probably speaking over her audience, I suppose. Man, that was rude. I'm sorry. At the crux, right? At the core of it is mental health. I would say the core actually is lack of family support. All these other things, like there are a lot of people who would be homeless today if they're with mental illness, with addiction. 95% of, at least, of addicts are in homes, are housed. It's the problem is their families are either gone or have abandoned them.
But everything's in crisis. It's violent crime. It's drug abuse. It's the overall depression. And we've gone back as a nation a good 3 or 4 decades in terms of inflation and crime. And
maybe crime. I don't know.
It's just as like the topping on the cake. And it's a sad situation.
It is a
and
sad
there's nothing
situation.
else that we can do.
There it is. There's nothing else we can do except bitch about it on Fox News.
Except make sure that people who run these cities understand that it's not just about safety anymore. It's about everything that spins off of law and order.
There it is. So, well, she's a lawyer, I guess. I don't know this woman. And she's like, there's nothing else we can do except bitch about it. So she has no idea. She has no solutions.
The numbers surprised you. They surprised me, Greg, like how much money is spent per person. Because
seems like a lot to me, lady, too.
York,
I agree.
San Francisco, Denver's got a
liberal
huge
cities
problem.
spending millions.
Even San Diego, Los Angeles, like they're spending all this money, but it's not working.
Yeah,
they go back to this picture. There's something going on here. That guy with the broom, probably the guy being attacked is screwed up somehow.
$800 and some odd million went to this Thrive program.
There's something up. I would love to know what's going on at that.
I don't think the conversation about homelessness actually exists.
That's true.
Because you have to.
We don't have a conversation. You're the guys talking about it. Donald Trump, Fox News. Joe Biden is not talking about it. He's like, I got a plan. Everybody gets a house. Next.
Speak these unspeakable truths, but that means you have to be risked. You have to risk being called uncompassionate.
No, you don't. No, I mean, you are uncompassionate. You don't have to be a dick to talk about homelessness. You're just a dick. That's all.
The unspeakable truths are this.
What?
A majority of law-abiding citizens are at the mercy of a few thousand, 10,000, 50,000, maybe 500,000 nationwide.
It's over. I mean, the number is 550,000 nationwide for the January point in time count. It's wildly underrepresented. I don't know what those numbers are. He's just saying numbers. It depends on the city you're in of how many, if he's talking citywide.
Of people who exist independent of our rules, laws, and manners, right?
And manners. This guy's upset about manners. He's got manner problems. They don't have a place to live, bro.
We have defined a heinous lifestyle. Homelessness.
Because they don't look like you. You're heinous, motherfucker. I would hate to be you. Fuck you, asshole.
As a lifestyle choice, right?
So what? Poor people, it's a heinous lifestyle. Have you ever seen those hillbillies down West Virginia? It's heinous. Have you seen all the poor people in America? It's heinous. It's so gross.
And I'm saying exempt from like the tiny exception.
The tiny exception.
I'm talking.
This guy knows nothing about homelessness other than what he watches on Fox News.
Largely men.
Bullshit.
Mostly men.
No.
They're not hanging out like the jovial transients. Not
on your pictures. There's a lot of really chill homeless people. A lot of them.
They're strung out.
Manic.
Unfriendly.
No. Why would they be unfriendly, asshole? I think you're unfriendly. How about that?
Aggressive.
Aggressive.
And you're lucky.
Some are aggressive. In New York, there are some crazy motherfucking homeless people. I'll give you that.
If they're unconscious, because then they won't hurt you. Right. I walk this city all the time. I drive.
How many homeless people have hurt you, bro?
I recognize them. I know them. They prefer the shelter. They don't prefer shelters to the streets because you can't do drugs and.
Lie. You can do drugs in shelters. You can do drugs in prisons. You can do drugs in jail. It's not the drugs.
Score drugs in shelters. That's why they're out there.
No.
That's a choice, right? You can't bring your property into the shelter
That's
either.
Legit. You can't bring your property. You can't stay with your spouse, and you can't bring your pets. That's true.
That because they don't allow that. So you prefer to be outside with your bags of stuff and do your drugs.
That's what it is. You got your stuff and your drugs and your dog. I saw a dog and your spouse and your drugs, and you're just impolite and heinous. Is that the word he's used? Heinous.
All you got to do is spend one afternoon in New York City and you see the reality, and it flies in the face of everybody there that tells you you have to be more compassionate, because their compassion is...
You can be compassionate and get to where you're going, you fucking dick.
allowing this to happen, throwing money at that. They're like the tourists that give that
Now he's going to hate on tourists. God, this guy is a fucking twat.
Healthy beggar with the little dog money, and that beggar is in front of your house. And it's like, I want to go to your damn house where you are in Germany or Spain and do the same thing and see how you...
Dude, New York was a shithole for a long fucking time, and then you moved in with all your money, and now you're complaining that there's fucking poor people on an island?
Feel, because all you do is you keep these people here making money. I do...
No. It's the services in the city that keep the people there, not the shekels or the few dollars that It's probably these people that come over from Europe that are horrified with the way we treat our poor people in this country. And they're like, holy shit, so fucking sorry. Here, have $1, you poor fucker. No, man, the food services are there. The homeless services are there. The medical services are there. The mental health services are there. The housing services are there. That's why they're there, you dumb motherfucker.
You have a solution, and it's a
Here we go.
progressive solution.
Progressive.
Give the homeless what they want.
Yes.
Because there is no way you can have a conversation with them. You can't reason with the...
This is wrong. You could talk to him about this, you fucking asshole. You see, I hate this guy so much, but I believe in what he's getting to. God, this fucking asshole.
Unreasonable. Give them what they want, but not in the city. The city allows this to happen. Move it out.
I agree. It should not be in the city. We need to move the services, everything out. I believe that we should try. We need to experiment more. And he's right for one thing, that liberals are just throwing money on. They have one idea: shelters or houses, and they don't try anything. This guy's coming up with an innovative approach. I believe I would love to create a village in the desert in between LA and Vegas.
Onto government property and let them run it.
Yeah, let them run it.
Step away. Give them the
Yes.
autonomy to
Yes.
truly run their
Yes.
lives into the ground, harm each other.
You don't know that they would run it into the ground, you fucking asshole. God, I hate this guy so much, but I like his fucking idea. He's just such a fucking dick. God
Don't harm
damn
us
it.
anymore. That's the only thing.
How often have you been harmed by a homeless person? Have you been raped by... What the fuck? I feel sorry for you. The only thing a homeless person has ever harmed you with is having to look at a poor person, you fucking dick.
It is now. You got to move them to a place where they can live their lives.
Yes.
So federally funded opium dens where the homeless can...
I mean, I do believe that the war on drugs is pointless. I do think that drug use should go on. Yeah. I do think that homeless people, especially chronically homeless people, have become incredibly free. And one of the big reasons they don't go to shelters is because they treat them like infants, like babies, like children. My friend was telling me at our homeless shelter, he has to put on his pajamas at 8. They're not his pajamas. He has to put on pajamas, okay? Things that just people have donated at 8 o'clock and lights out at 8:30. Fuck that.
And I volunteer as mayor. I will be mayor of Open.
Will you be the mayor? Because that would be cool, but I think you're an asshole. So I don't trust you as mayor. I don't know. Actually, maybe you are cool and you're just catering to your audience. I don't know you. You're a fucking weirdo, though. I know that.
In town.
Jesse, before I just wanted to point this out. Of course, you could talk about whatever you want, but in San Francisco, they distributed 262 tents.
I love this.
Across 6 locations. The tents were a total of $16.1 million.
Okay, this is crazy. 260. I don't even know. I believe her. I believe the numbers. This is madness. This is exactly what liberals fucking do.
That's about $61,000 per tent. You can get a regular tent for like $300. A good one for like $300.
A good one. Yeah. $30 tents from Walmart with a tarp, and you're fine. I would not get a $300 REI tent. It'll just get stolen.
REI and get a tent on sale for $300.
That's true. I have
but
one.
The city of San Francisco is charging $61,000 a tent.
Yeah,
to
it's
the
fucked up.
taxpayers.
It's fucked
It's
up.
crazy. The San Francisco officials also use taxpayer dollars to buy liquor and beer for the homeless people.
Yeah, that's bullshit. They shouldn't do that. You should hire homeless people to work, and you give them money, and then they go and buy whatever they want. Don't just buy liquor and beer, you weirdos.
And then they got caught. Look what
course.
they're doing in all of these non-for-profits. The profits are all going to the scam artists that run them.
Scam artists that run them. There's a lot of this.
To help the homeless. And what do they do with the money? This woman went on a shopping spree to Tiffany's, Ferragamo, Bergdorf Goodman. I know you're shaking your head. You've been there a few times.
This is crazy.
Judge. I mean, this is some of the nicest luxury shopping anybody will ever do. And another guy stole about $5 million, and he does kickbacks to contractors.
This is
his
terrible.
Family members
He's 100% right.
Place. It's all a huge scam.
Okay, so what are you going to do, though? I love that you're pointing it out, and you're right. I don't know what percentage of it, but, you know, it's like, look what First Energy is doing in Akron and Ohio. All these people are scam artists, so, you know, it's not like liberals invented the idea.
They actually don't want to reduce homelessness. They want to keep the people on the streets.
I would say that's true. They don't go upstream. They're just treating symptoms because it keeps them employed. I do tend to agree with that.
They can fleece the taxpayers.
Yep.
It's all a big grift. Why
I'd
are
say
there
that's
so many
true.
homeless people right now? Well, they emptied the prisons. They shut down the economy.
I don't know if that's true. Did they empty the prisons? They did shut down the economy. I disagree with his premise. I believe that the cost of rent has skyrocketed in a place like San Francisco. It has certainly in Akron, and it's created an increase in income inequality, and then it shakes out at the bottom with homeless people.
Brought in all these illegal aliens, and they've decriminalized drugs. So what do you expect to happen?
Decriminalize drugs. I don't know if that makes people more homeless. I don't know. Most homeless people, most drug addicts are not homeless by far. 95% are homed.
I understand Greg's point. I'd like to speak directly to the homeless people right now. Take some money.
I do thank him for saying the homeless people. That is the appropriate. I appreciate that. He has an idea here. It's a little bit simplistic, but it's something to do.
Go get an hour in a hotel. Take a shower.
An hour.
Do a shave. Then
where are they going to get that money? Where are they going to get an hour in a hotel in New York City? I mean, okay, that's the first problem.
Go to the barbershop. Get a little haircut.
Okay, so what if you funded this idea? You're like, look, man, I'll give you a night in a hotel. I'm going to give you, you go over to this barbershop, you get some clothes, and then here's a bus back to your parents. See what happens.
Then go to a thrift shop, buy new clothes, get a bus ticket, and get the hell out of the city and away from all these drugs. And get yourself a job. I
do agree. He wants them out of the city because he doesn't like looking at homeless people. I think this guy is actually a more decent human being, I feel, than the other dick. But there is a truth to, you do need to get away from the drugs. I see that in Akron a lot. People, it's so hard when you come out of jail, for example, and then you come right back into exactly where you were. You start right back up.
Go to sleep, read a book, take a walk, do some push-ups, drink some water, save a little money from each pay.
I like all those ideas. Drink some water, get some sleep, do some exercise.
Check, and then call your parents. Okay, because your parents will come take you in.
If you have parents, a lot of people's parents are dead.
None of that will ever happen.
That's great.
That's not true. I've seen it happen. There's a guy, it does happen. It absolutely does happen. It's a small scale, but it does.
I do think that, Geraldo, people just feel, you can be a compassionate person and also feel completely helpless as you
Yeah, see, god damn, why can't you just be a normal human like this chick?
walk around.
Yeah, because the bitter irony, Dana, is that the more services you provide, the more homeless people there'll be. Plus, who doesn't want to live in San Francisco?
Okay. I don't know if that's true. I mean,
or Venice Beach. You know, I remember during
I do not think that Venice Beach should be a homeless shelter. I absolutely am against it.
Ed Koch's administration, they used to give out bus tickets. Where do you want to go? Any place but here. And Jesse's idea is not.
So any place but here just puts the problem on another city. That's I like the dick, the fucking cunt guy. Let me create a city. Let me try it. Let me experiment with it.
Not that outrageous. The whole notion, and it goes with Greg's idea of not in the city.
Not in the city.
Any place you want.
I agree, but you're going to have to move all the services out into these new communities. I'm 100% for it.
Want to go? We'll give you a way to get there.
Yeah.
Not unlike Texas and Florida are doing right now. But I think the idea of some kind of encampment, some kind of idyllic place someplace, but you have to have some payback. You have to have some responsibility. For instance, my big beef with progressives is they demand nothing of the recipient. Why not sobriety? Why not drug abuse counseling? Why not getting yourself cleaned up? You know,
Geraldo, thank you for allowing me on this show. It's been a really great opportunity. I'd like to address this. What I believe, Geraldo, is that we need a tiered system. Everyone gets a shelter in this new community, this idyllic community that you're suggesting. Everyone gets a shelter, gets a tent. Does not you get basic survival in this. However, if you would like electricity and a tent, then you have to agree to doing these services. If you would like a tiny house and electricity, you need to agree to these services. If you'd like a home, an apartment, you have to agree to these services. You scale it up. You do give them the ability to upgrade their lives into something that is more approved of by modern day society. But everybody gets a tent. Everybody gets a shelter. I agree. Not in the cities. Definitely not on Venice Beach. Not because it's not tenable, but you got to give them the services out there. I've done this for years, Geraldo. I got plans for this. I'm so grateful to be on your show. Thank you for having me. And please let me come back any time, Geraldo. Thank you so much.
You can't have anyone evolving out of that sorry condition unless you give them some responsibility.
But
yes.
They don't want that. I mean, when I used to sentence
That's not true. Some don't, some do. Everybody wants to go somewhere typically.
someone, I would say to them, do you want to go to jail for a year, or do you want to go to rehab and straighten your life out? They'd rather go to jail so they can come out and do what they do and do what they like.
The rehab is tough, and families pay several families, several thousands of families across the country, put their loved one in rehab multiple times, drain their retirement savings, and still end up trying to, with sleepless nights, wondering.
Okay, this is not uncommon. This is what addiction is. This is alcoholism. This is all addiction. A very small percentage of people become clean, at least on the first try. This is not homelessness. This is, now we're talking about addiction. We're talking about, they're circling all this stuff. Homeless people, crime, addiction. These are different topics. I'm not saying that they aren't involved in homelessness, but I'm saying that crime happens more with homed people. Addiction happens more with homed people, okay?
Where their children are.
You know, what Geraldo's saying, though, is like, in the old days, they actually had, the institutions were out of the city because the city is stressful for sane people.
Yes,
Imagine
I agree.
Like loud, you're homeless.
He's right.
You have a mental illness.
He's right.
Addicted, loud noises, buses, trains.
It's jam-packed. You can't get any space. You can't have any place of your own. If we were in some space like a desert that was supported meagerly, I mean, with some money, we need water and solar power and a bus. And some services that come out a few times a week. I think we could do it much cheaper than what we're doing in the cities. He's absolutely 100%. But I will say it has to be optional. I could make it come. I could make them come. They would want to come to Sage's tent city, 100%. They've always have.
Trains, everything. Why are you here?
Yes.
When you could actually be there's a reason why people go to nature, and that is something that could be done.
That's right.
Again, you sound like you're speaking out of lack of compassion by saying move them out.
No,
we're saying that
No, I mean see, now you're getting rational. It's not lack of compassion. It's a new idea. I mean, we've had farms. We've moved poor people, we've had poor houses, poor farms. We've done this before. This isn't a brand new idea, man. We just need to go back to it. 100%. It's not that they want to be in the city. They want to be with their friends. They want access to what they want, which would probably in certain cases want to be drugs. You're just going to have to allow capitalism to take effect in these communities. People need two things. They need to be safe, and they need to not get their shit stolen all the time. And then otherwise, we just work on the other stuff.
They're not helping themselves. They're destroying themselves and others.
Yes.
If Trump had bought Greenland, it would have been a perfect place
Yes.
to put them.
Except it's not green, though.
That's true.
No.
A little cold, but it would be fine.
Yes.
I don't know actually much about. Okay, good. I really truly wish that I come back to these conservatives. They're the only people that have actual ideas. They're spinning it, I think, for their audience who maybe hates homeless people. You don't need to hate homeless people with these ideas. These are lovely ideas. I think we need to experiment with them. We need to be experimenting with more and more and more ideas, not just what the liberals are like, housing. Everybody gets a house. Where the hell are you going to build all these houses, Joe Biden? Fox News, get me on that show, goddammit.